It's locked. Fresh blood. The whole building reeks of it. The scent is so strong it makes me dizzy.
I need a drink. I'm so thirsty. I was wondering we shall overcome this. We've done it before. No. I had a drink outside tonight already and it did not quench my thirst. I must have more.
This place reeks of bloodshed.
You are my dearest friend. You're my last and dearest friend. William, my arm. I can't feel it.
This creature is bedeviled. I must put it down.
William, please, stop. Let me go. William was an honorable man. I could have saved him.
Mr. Hampton, are you in there?
I knew him well, another lost soul, a kindred spirit.
Sir, listen to the sound of my voice. I'm a doctor. You're suffering from shock.
I must return to my flock. They'll stray without me.
Remember, certain skulls are every bit as resistant as we are.
Who are you? What do you mean by Skal?
You truly are a newborn. I should have realized.
Wait. You are the woman from the bar. Are you like me? Can you help me?
I believe, sir, I already have.
By George and the Saints, you've solved the mystery of these terrible murders. Patience, good fellows, I've come to offer help. Just give me a moment to secure my boat. We can leave this awful place.
William was not the evil man they claimed. He was just taken by the thirst. He needed his drink.
This man requires medical attention. We'll see he gets to the nearest hospital.
No, please, I must tend to my fold. My flock needs me.
There, sir. Go with the good Dr. Swansea. He's resourceful, and I'm sure he'll take good care of you.
You'd best come as well. The sun is soon to rise, and you'll need a place to rest.
I just need a moment. If I can learn something about what has happened to William, I'll be a step closer to understanding what happened to me.
This poor creature can't be my maker. Could it be some subspecies of vampire? I must find a place to analyze the blood.
Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... What manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... Who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that skull. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stole, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it! I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous.
Have we met?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word, again. From a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
Of that, you are right.
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this... affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed, and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy,
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming.
I cannot enter.
Come on, you bastard! You can do better than that! Nah! It's my turn!
Rotten or pristine, each heart contains the secret of life. Drink at this river, try it all.
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite!
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
Alright, sorry. I am in pain here. Me guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
No more. Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
It is wise for the huntsman to sometimes let his prey go. But no famished hunter can run for long.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
How are things here?
So,
Do you think this...
we are all volunteers.
I'm not familiar with all this...
Brilliant.
Most...
It. No.
It... What? Goodbye now.
Hurry now, Doctor. It's freezing here.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Get them weapons ready! Bloody leech!
cannot enter.
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody. Good evening, sir.
So it is true.
Do we know each?
Actually, yes. We met one.
Dr. Tippett's, yes, I remember.
He was also very confident about your...
What is the
This hospital is not exact... Don't...
What's up?
Don't...
Tell
No,
you.
I'll...
What is the...
This... Don't... No,
You've not...
I...
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to the name of Clay Cox. He requires urgent medical attention.
Already making the rounds. That's the Pembroke spirit. I'll ask our porter, Milton, to bring him back immediately.
Thank you, nurse.
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office.
Thank you. Nurse Crane.
Yes, Dorothy Crane.
I would like to ask a few And Mr. Hampton, the patient...
I gave him a sedative to help him
What kind of...
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would...
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows...
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me.
Apologies, I've only just met him.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon.
If you could point me...
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs.
Thank you, nurse.
Another night with the glorious battalion of Pembroke.
Good evening, sir.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed.
That's quite a blunt...
You can call me Milton. I like to...
I'm not sure I understand...
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun...
You have a keen eye.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed.
How is this...
You want to hear the situation?
So what do you do exactly in this hospital?
I've been an ambulance driver since...
Since you're...
It's a complete disaster.
It sounds like things...
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient.
You left an infected...
Go there yourself if you want, but be...
Are you really smuggling?
And why not?
But you're not defending yourself.
You keep people alive your own way.
I'd like to see...
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable...
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research. This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin. William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows that the sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now.
It's locked, all right.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me. Mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire!
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, it's such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
It's locked, all right.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Damn. The pain.
Good evening, Miss
Here
Howcroft.
again.
How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark.
I wish I could be sick again.
So many deaths.
Feel my blood boil with the fever.
Not of my own.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position.
You guessed right, Doctor.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss.
Can I ask you precisely...
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work.
Can I do anything?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills.
Who is treating you?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me.
You don't seem worried.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry.
Where were you stationed?
I really don't.
No offense. I was pushing to...
You were an officer, weren't you?
How close are you to Miss Hawcroft? Are you aware...
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few...
She could decide to bite less.
Then it's another good reason for me...
You do realize she's mentally...
In her madness, she never refers...
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Your last thoughts would be
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory.
You remain...
Thank you, Doctor.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers' trade union. The Wet Boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks, and I try to guide the lost and hesitant.
Are you a priest, Miss?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop?
That's a very strange question, Doctor.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton?
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually.
You're in good hands here. Doctor...
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
The daily routine.
I cannot enter.
I wonder what your last thoughts would be, sir. I have wasted too much energy for so little result.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed.
Does my arrival inconvenience?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd...
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't.
I know we've never met before, but...
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course.
There is no need for such animosity between us.
That is one point we could agree on. And that...
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than...
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness.
Carelessness?
We're here to save lives. The people...
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive...
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But
be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion tech...
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you.
It seems you have bad
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as science.
We can at least agree on something. Thank you for your time. Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your... I am Thoreau Strickland. Dr. Thoreau...
Please, could you tell me something?
I'm a great admirer of your work.
What made you choose...
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your...
It's always a pleasure to share something.
This epidemic may be the...
I based my technique...
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just...
As long as you're cautious and methodical.
You're not the first one to warn me.
What can you tell me?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea.
Do you need help with it?
Well,
do you want me to play the...
Oh, no, Dr. Reed. But if...
I see. Well, You seem quite optimistic.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test.
Questions remain about our capacity.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to...
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern...
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded.
With the influenza and all that's going on.
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the...
So you believe it's just a question?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Tell me more about your willingness.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury.
What is it you really want?
Fair question. I want nothing...
This personal...
I agree. But that does not excuse...
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied.
But why would he hide such crucial information?
Because he is a proud father. A shit.
Goodbye, Dr. Strick. Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed.
I don't know if a third opinion is needed.
I see.
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I...
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed.
I was more curious about what you were doing before.
I'm a carpenter. And a good one, too.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured.
I won't lie to you about it.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling...
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now... Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Ackroyd. They both want the best.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments.
Tell me about your injury, Harvey.
My wife died because of me. And...
How could your job...
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your...
Of course I didn't hurt myself.
Tell me more about the death of your...
1915. I was in the army.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site.
How are your children?
They were smaller then. The only good thing...
I'm sorry for your loss.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
I will not let you down, my boy.
How can we be sure we're making a difference?
What can I do for you, Doctor?
If you could point me... Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
You always knew the words to come.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed.
No.
Really?
I don't want to talk.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here.
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his
Not really.
I see.
Yes, maybe. But
How...
I'm alright.
Good evening, Mr. Tell me. I have to go now.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir. I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take...
May I ask...
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women...
Are you really that rich?
Yes, thanks to my husband. Me.
What do you think of your reception here?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect...
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a...
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son, despite the...
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question,
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
They may lack the resources, but we have some of the most brilliant minds in London and Pembroke.
I'm quite busy right now.
Tell me, Waverley, what did...
Strickland is playing with his pet.
Are you thinking about...
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery.
And are you not afraid that your rival...
Rivalry?
Why do you...
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick...
Other people may say that's too
conservative? And what are you going to say?
Thank you. Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate. Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir.
A colleague?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be...
What do you mean, you used to be?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be...
Are you afraid?
Why should I?
An interesting point of view.
Sir, as...
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All...
Why close the...
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic.
Why do you have to...
Because these poor fellows have no names.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were...
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
A pawnbroker?
Yes, sir. All kind.
Who comes here to trade with you?
I'm very cautious, sir.
What kind of...
With the quarantine, it's not always easy.
Since you're not afraid of dying,
No. I believe we must do all the good.
do you think you would enjoy...
I don't think so. Don't...
Do you really believe goodwill can...
As I said, sir,
Quite depressed.
Yes. But the good news is...
So you're ready?
No, I am not.
You're a wise man.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish...
Please show me one.
Of course.
It's locked.
I'm sorry you ended up on my plain and cold medical bench, sir. I understand you must be very angry about this unfair situation. I managed to arrange to have you buried in the same mass grave as your wife. I hope that might help.
The life running in your veins.
I cannot enter.
Dark Queen, spare your obedient slave.